Good morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Friday, January 26th, 2024. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. Kyle Shanahan got a little salty in his press conference yesterday. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, we begin every show with the injury report. Once again, short. Deebo Samuel was limited. He returned to practice. Everybody else, full go. Awesome. I never get tired of that before a big playoff game. Deebo Samuel apparently looked good at practice, gave a lot of energy to his teammates, and obviously everyone was thrilled to see 19 out there running around. Now, to the audio portion of the show, we all know the defensive line has come under fire this season. They have seemed to go multiple weeks without really getting any sacks, and Kyle was asked if, given the millions of dollars they have invested along this defensive line, if he ever just goes into that room and says, hey, guys, this number of sacks, this few sacks is unacceptable.
No, I don't go in there and say, look at these millions, look at the 0 sacks, this isn't acceptable. I go in there and I look at how we won, how it came. No, if you got a 4-man rush and people are chipping every time and the back staying in to help, which means you have 8 guys in protection, there's 1 quarterback, there's 2 guys out on a route and 7 guys in coverage. Probably not going to give any sacks, but I don't think you're going to give any points either. So there's a balance out to it. Yeah, we want more sacks, definitely. But how are you guys going to play us? How are we going to do it? And I liked how our D-line played.
Obviously, Kyle has to defend his guys. And yes, like he said, there's a context there that we have to consider, but come on, man. I know at some point you got to get the quarterback on the ground. And it's not like we haven't seen this unit smother people before. We have. We know they can be dominant. They just haven't been in a little while. And in this game, it's so important because of how different Jared Goff plays when he does get sacked and when he is under consistent pressure. Speaking of sacks, by the way, a lot of people think the Lions are going to be able to protect Jared Goff because their offensive line is so good. But Steve Wilks dropped a little knowledge yesterday about what actually helps keep Goff upright.
I think it's not so much their protection. I think it's really their run game, which in turns affects their protection. So when their run game is going, it allows them to be able to slow us down a little bit with the play action. So we got to do a great job, as I stated before, in really trying to stop and take this run game away and make these guys one-dimensional. And that's still not going to be an easy task because Goff is a real good quarterback.
I never thought of it like that, but whatever it takes, whatever the reason, you have to find a way to neutralize that Lions passing attack. And apparently, according to Wilks, the rushing attack too. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Friday, NinersNation.com. Kyle Posey has a great preview article titled Why the 49ers Will Be in Position to Win the Super Bowl After Sunday. If you want to read the article, click the link in the description of this episode. I promise you, it will give you the warm and fuzzies before the biggest game of the year. One thing to watch, if you haven't done so already, the 49ers put out a little kind of like a mini movie called 49 Hours. It's basically like a little movie about the previous week's game. This week's is excellent. There's a ton of good behind the scenes stuff in there that you should go and check out. Again, link description of the episode. So you don't have to go anywhere else to get good stuff. We are your one-stop shop to keep you up to date on everything happening with the Niners. One thing you may have missed: if you want to get into the conference championship games, it is going to cost you a lot of money. According to the San Jose Mercury News, Niners Lions could end up being the most expensive conference championship ticket ever. Average ticket price for Sunday's game is $2,430. That would break the current record by around $600. Who holds that record right now, you might ask? Well, it's actually the 49ers and Eagles last season. And oh, by the way, in case you're wondering, the AFC Championship game has an average ticket price of $2,200, which would make it the second most expensive conference championship ticket of all time. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. If you click the little bell, you'll get notified every single time we go live, which is every single weekday for you. Plus, of course, the instant reaction after the game, which we do every week. You got to join us for that. So that's why you want to hit that bell. We do get started immediately following the game, in case you're wondering. I will be live later today with Michelle Majuk, fantasy analyst, researcher for the NFL Network. 9:15 a.m. Pacific time we'll be live. And I'll also be, I'll have a video a little later in the day with JT O'Sullivan, all about Brock Purdy and getting into the nitty gritty and what happened last week and how he can fix it this week. It's going to be a ton of fun. So again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I promise you, we will keep earning your time. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk later today.